He started created a $100 million company with almost no funding. Inc. 5000 award, $10 million revenue award, $100 million revenue award. Why do I say 100 million? Because it's a software company and you have a multiple on revenue here. We so far generated 60 million in revenue. I'm north of 10 million a year recurring, also called ARR, annual recurring revenue, super important in SaaS. We're 85 people. We're remote first since 2018. We are profitable. 7-figure profitable. I made a 60 million revenue on social media without showing my face. Rev via social without showing face. We have more than 90% of revenue in US, Canada, Great Britain, and Australia. We have 4,000 customers with more than 2 million users. And we're the market leader. And Passion was the market leader. We're the #1 app builder for the creator economy. And quickly about me, it's my 4th business. And I started Passion.io after I became one of the bigger instructors on Udemy with more than 50,000 students. So that's the outcome. And now let me share the proven process on how to get to this outcome. Okay, there are 4 containers. Container number 1, I call the core engines. That's the foundation for everything. Without these core engines, nothing is going to work. And there are 3. It's actually a triangle where you have to nail your ideal clients. Yeah, like in SaaS, it's also called ICP. And then you have to have a magnetic identity. Meaning that your brand has to be really cool so that people are attracted to you. And back in the days, you were like throwing millions at branding, right? Like branding is shit. I want direct response. Today's world, this is called direct response branding. So you want to create a brand that is so cool that people are pulled towards you, right? You don't even have to push, like they're just like coming to you. I call this magnetic identity. And the third thing is irresistible offer. Without a good offer, you're not going to sell anything. If you are not like magnetic, no one's going to buy your offer. If you don't know who your customer is, it's also not going to work. So like these 3 are constantly improved. Like even in 5 years from now, today, 3 years ago, you constantly refine the ICP, the offer, and the identity. Because the market is changing, the offers are changing, the people are changing, you are growing, everything is changing, right? So that's the core. If you do not, like, let's say, yeah, personal branding, let's push some content on social, let's do 100 posts, all cool. If you don't have your core in place, it's not going to work. And also one thing that I think is really important, which most of the people out there are doing completely wrong, is that the content that you post on social media and the content pillars, they should be derived from the irresistible offer. Because the irresistible offer is quite often a proven process with multiple pillars, where each pillar in the end becomes a content pillar. And that then becomes the foundation for your social content. And with that content, you of course attract then people that want to buy your offer, right? So that's in my opinion how you should create social media content. Good, so that's container number 1, the core engines. Once you graduate from this container, the next container is really, really important. Container 2, I call this the marketing engines. Good, so how does it work? 2 things are important. 1, magnetic brand faces, or just brand faces. Not everything always has to be magnetic, but important is that they attract your ideal customer profile. Ideally, you pick someone that is already in the aspirational identity of your ICP. So for example, your ICP wants to make $1 million more in profit, or wants to crack 8 figures, or wants to double ROAS, right, return on ad spend, or wants to halve CAC. Then show them someone that like has done it over and over again. And this person is going to be magnetic and easily trusted by your ideal customer profile. And that's like 50% of the game. We're doing this for like more than 10 years. If you have a strong brand face, you are going to outperform any other competitor out there, right? The cool thing is that these days, you can hire these brand faces. There are so many guns for hire. You just like need to pick the right one and then create content with them. For example, for maybe your paid funnel, for your webinars, for your ads, but also like for your YouTube long form videos, right? The second thing that you need here are, I call it an infinite content engine. The infinite content engine has 4 elements. One is the content inspiration engine. where you always pick proven content from the most relevant people out there, the right formats, the right copy, the right hooks, the right visual hooks, the right first thumbnail frame, and all of these things. And you learn from there, you take these formats, and then you go into a content production engine, which is the second piece. In the content production engine, you produce quality content based on the proven things. And then in the content repurposing engine, which is the third element, you repurpose long form to short form to text based, like LinkedIn tweets, right? But you can also do long form to YouTube, but then also to blog post or to newsletter, and vice versa. So it's really important. And then finally, the fourth one is the content promotion engine. With the content promotion engine, you then promote your best content so that middle of funnel, bottom of funnel, your prospects, your ideal customers, your ideal clients are building up trust, spending time with you. You get their attention before they then convert. Okay, so these are like the two important things here. I could talk about any of these for hours, and like let me know in the comments if what the specific questions are, and I will do another video on that. Okay, so these are the marketing engines. Okay, then once you have that in place, and like I said, this only works like this here. This only works if you have the core in place, right? Because crap in, crap out. If you push content that doesn't make any sense, not going to convert. Same for magnetic brand faces. If you just like have shitty people that talk about shitty content, it's not going to work. You need people that attract ICPs talking about stuff that is relevant for them, right? So without container one, you're not going to get anywhere. And one more thing, this is really important. Right now, there's so many agencies out there, and people just like, yeah, look on LinkedIn. Everyone's now posting, hey, you should also post something. Let me post something. That's exactly how to not do this, right? You just post some content, but it's like not the right quantity. It's not the right quality. It doesn't have the right face. It's not the right amount, like not the right story behind. It's just like from A to Z, not going to work. And that's why you're not getting any engagement, because you don't have the foundation in place, and you don't have content engines and brand faces in place. Once you have that in place, container 3 starts. So what's container 3? Container 3 are the scaling engines. These are 3. First one, you want to have a profitable funnel. Here it's more about like what type of funnel. It's a webinar funnel, it's a book funnel, it's a workshop funnel, it's a paid funnel, it's an event funnel, it's a community funnel, right? There's so many like different funnels. You have to find the right one for your business. I can also like double click on that in some other video. The second one is you want to have an ad engine, which every time, like when you have container 1 and 2 in place and we put an ad engine on top, you can 10x your revenue. It's crazy. So many creators that we've worked with over the last 15 years, they're like making cool 100K is much. Like that's a lot. Ooh, wow, right? Once you put the ad engine on top, boom, factor 10, $1 million. It's crazy. 10x. It's crazy. And then third one, the 80% close rate. This essentially is a sales engine where you pre-sell effectively, and you create inbound leads based on your funnels and based on your ads and based on your whole machine, where people show up with their credit cards in hand, right? And you essentially just like take payment, and that's it. And that's why the close rate goes up from 10%, 15% up to 80%. You of course have like a flow here in place. People have to be trained. You need social SDRs. You need good scripts. You need good tools as well. But once you have that in place, especially to sell high ticket offers, anything north of 5K, north of 10K, maybe even like 50K, 60K, 80K, 250K offers. I've seen all of that stuff. You gotta like have to look into the 80% close rate engine, right? Okay, cool. And then once you have that, this is like container number 4, especially relevant in today's time. It's the performance engines. And there in the end, there's like 2 big pillars in the performance engines. One is an AI-powered team. Here it's about freelancers, contractors, but also W-2s, and like bringing them on speed remotely, like compensation frameworks, hiring frameworks, geo pay ranges, how to find them, how to like create a win-win, how then to like double down and go from maybe freelancing to W-2s, how to find the best people, how to hire the best people, how to retain the best people, how to create an identity, a culture in your own team, and then also like empowering the team with AI tools, right? Because today they can be 10 times more effective with the right tools. So that's here. And then here you have AI-powered processes. You can also like say, you know, teaming, tooling, tracking. Maybe that's easier. Teaming, tooling, tracking. And that's essentially what you need in order to, especially with a business that makes 10 million or more, even a million or more, if you don't have like tracking your tools in place, you're going to fail. If the team is shit, no chance, 100%, like it's the foundation for everything. And then tooling and processes, workflows, it's kind of like, let's call it the 3 Ts, right? The 3 Ts or die. Yeah, it's essentially the option. With that, you can grow profitably to 8 figures and beyond, to build a machine and engine that is worth a ton in the market, $100 million or more. And then at some point, you either can go public or you just keep it or you sell it, whatever you want, right? But these are the 4 pillars to become independent of VCs, but also to become independent of yourself. Because in the end, if you have processes and everything in place and the machine, you as a founder, which is essentially for also potential acquirers, is a key man risk, right? Like what happens if the founder is not there anymore, the whole thing tanks, is the essential thing, because people want to buy engines in the end on all sides. You want to deliver something that works for the customer, you want to get customers with an engine, and you also at some point like want to build a whole company that is an engine, right? So if you build a money printing machine, that's obviously very valuable. And these were the 4 containers on how to get there. So I hope that was helpful. Let me know in the comments if what you think, what your questions are. And if you want more content, subscribe and support the channel. Thank you so much. See you in the next video.